Hey, Carolyn, I appreciate the feedback and your a little more insight into your background as an artist, painter. It helps a lot for sure, and it also explains some of my comments last week. So, one of the things I would do different with this photograph, it's a small thing, but I'm going to clean it up for you a little bit. Is I'm going to go in here and open up the shadows, and a little bit more on the exposure. You can see the histogram here. It's going up here on the side because of the white back here. I just want to bring out a little bit more detail on that overall bark. And I wouldn't hesitate personally. You got plenty of room here to play with. I'd bring this down right there. I'd bring this over to about there. Bring this one over as well. And then bring this one up. And you'll end up, not quite 35 millimeter, but pretty close. And then, just as a thought, you might want to make this into a couple of eyeballs. So, almost like a sleeping frog or I don't know what, but it definitely doesn't look, it looks reptilian, whatever it is, okay? And on to the next one. Speaking of eyeballs, this is, I believe you said your daughter's parrot, your cockatoo. I'm not even sure what it's called, but you are correct in the assumption that if you used a higher ISO, what it's actually going to do is allow you to use a faster shutter speed, which could, in fact, spell the difference between a sharp, crowned, feathered top versus one that's not quite sharp enough, because it's going to make your shutter speed faster. And if you're trying to hand hold a shot like this without a tripod, you can get all the help you need from shutter speed at that point, just by raising and elevating your shutter speed. So, for what it's worth, and you were correct in making the assumption to shoot that next time at a higher ISO. So, good job. It tells me you're learning a lot. That's for darn sure. And that's always important. Love the clouds, no problem. I get what you're going with this. It's a great idea. I'm not sure what else you could do except walk a little closer, which would open up more clouds, but you'll still end up with framing with these trees and stuff. This is one of those tough shots that's hard for me to critique because I wish I could have been there to help you through it. It just would have been a lot easier for me personally. I'm not sure why I'm getting this for. I don't want to be on that. There we go. Yeah, there's not much more to say except try not to feel the reasoning, or feel compelled, I should say, to incorporate foreground interest when photographing a sky next time. This would have been just as striking if it was nothing more than blue sky and white puffy clouds. But you had to push it back, you thought, because that's the only way you could take a photograph. No. You got a 24 millimeter super wide angle, and you could move to an area that's maybe without any houses around and end up, photographing just the sky itself. I'm not really sure if that's possible, or if you have too much obstruction. But in any event, just a simple shot of a sky with clouds oftentimes is all that's required. And there you have it. Week number 2 is in the books, as we say. And until next week, which is number 3, Carolyn, enjoy the time you're spending together with us here, and you keep learning, and of course, you keep shooting.